Hey everybody, I'm going to be going over the Alpha Themes editor tool package coming out soon on the asset store for Unity3D. Alpha Themes is a lightweight global theme editor, and what that means is it provides tools for managing fonts, colors, and images globally with minimal effort. So let's say you have 100 pages in your project's menu system. Well, with Alpha Themes, you can modify elements on all of those pages with a single click. Otherwise, you would need to go to each one of those elements individually, which is very time consuming and prone to errors. In this video, I'm going to go over 4 user objectives that will get you up to speed with how to use the Alpha Themes tool. Here are the major questions I'm going to answer in this video. How do I open the theming tool after I've imported the package? How do I connect UI elements to the theming tool? How do I create my own themes? And finally, how do I create my own theme categories? And we're going to be talking about what categories are a little bit later in this video. Okay, so I'm starting off in a completely fresh project here. I'm actually using Unity 2017.3, although this package was intended for every version from 5.6.3 and up. So what I'm going to do is just click import, and I'm going to wait for this to finish importing. And that might take a little bit because there's a few fonts in there. Okay, now after that finishes importing, you'll see that you'll have a folder here called Alpha Tools. I'll just make a quick note. It's really important that this folder stays directly under the Assets folder in Unity. Otherwise, things may not work. Now, the first thing we want to go ahead and do is just to start things off simply, we'll go into the Examples folder and open up the Theme mobile menu scene, which gives you an example of how to use the Alpha Themes editor tool. So I'll go ahead and select 2D so I can get a better view of this, and I'll just double click my canvas so I can come a little bit further out. And here we're looking at basically a storyboard of a fake menu system for a game. So we have 4 menu pages here. And in just a second, we're going to be looking at how the Alpha Themes editor tool is going to help us modify some of this content really quickly. So to open up the editor tool, you'll just go up to the toolbar at the top of Unity and find Alpha Templates, and then choose Themes. So when you click Themes, this is the editor window that's going to pop up. Really quickly, I want to go ahead and describe each of these panels. Options gives you the categories through which you can modify theme elements. For each option, you get a set of subcategories, so you can get more granular with your theme definitions. For instance, for button colors, I have button, button outline, button shadow, and button icon. Now you might be thinking, well, those elements may not apply to my UI elements for my specific project. And that's okay, because a little bit later in this video, I'm going to show you how to add custom elements. So then we come down here to theme selection, and this is where you actually change the theme, and we can create new themes, we can rename existing themes, and we can delete existing themes. So what we can do really quickly is just go through some of these themes that are predefined for you whenever you import the package for the first time. You can see really quickly the power of this tool because it modifies everything from colors to fonts to sprites with a single click of a button. Okay, so now we want to talk about how can we actually connect our UI elements to the theming tool, because obviously this wasn't all just set up automatically. And what you'll want to do is, as you create UI elements for your project, you'll want to tag them with a component called theme item. I'm going to do a quick example of that right now. I'm going to go ahead and open a new scene. So I'll create a new scene here called test, and I'm going to go ahead and go into that really quickly. Then I'll go ahead and create a new UI canvas. I'll create a background for my page. So that is BG for background. And I'm actually not even going to change the color of it. Next thing I'll do is add some text, and this may be my game title. And again, at this point, the editor tool doesn't really know how to handle this UI content. But it's super easy to map the UI content to the editor tool. Okay, so here's just a really quick example. What I want to do is assign some sort of mapping to the background because that will be basically the main color palette for my game. And then I want to map the game title font to the editor tool as well. Okay, and all I have to do that is use the only component that you care about with this tool, which is theme item. And so I'll go ahead and go add component on my background, choose theme item, and then you can see here we have a theme type and a font type. Now this second parameter field is going to change based on the theme type that you have. Basically the theme type options that you have are font, which applies to text component, color, which applies to text and image components, sprite modifies image components, and icons modify image components. So based on the component that you're on, you'll want to choose the theme type accordingly. Since I'm on the background, I'll go ahead and just choose the color theme type. And now I can choose anything, any one of the preset categories. And what I'll probably choose is, let's see, color background, because that's actually my background component. Now if we go back up to our theming tool and we go to window colors, we can see background, and that automatically changed after I selected that color type. That automatically changed the color of my background, which is exactly the behavior that we want. Now if I go into my actual theme tool and let's say I want to change that background color, it'll actually automatically update that as I change it through the editor tool. And I can go ahead and change my theme, and that will also modify it according to the theme that's chosen. Okay, now we'll also want to modify the text component as well. So let's go ahead and add a theme item for our text, for our game title. So we'll choose font game title. That's already updated for us. So game title has changed on its own. Now we also want to modify the font color according to the game title color as well. So I'll add another theme item. So the system does support multiple theme items on the same component as long as it uses a different theme type. So I have a font theme type. Now I want to add a color theme type. And then I have the color game title. And I can go ahead and modify this stuff as well. So from the theme editor tool, I see font colors, game title, and I can change game title as I wish. That updates as I would expect it to. And again, I can change the theme, and that'll update the font type and the font color. Okay, so the next thing we want to cover is how do we create our own themes, because you're given a set of presets and you may not like any of these. So you definitely want the ability to create your own theme. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that right now. So in the theme selection area, I'll just select new, and then I will type in a name. As you can see, it needs to be at least 4 characters long. So I'll just call this my custom theme, and then I'll click create. So that goes ahead and creates a custom theme for me. You can see it automatically chooses the theme for me here. And I can switch between all of my themes. Now, the new theme is going to be set to the default theme parameters. So as you can see, if I switch between default and my custom theme, everything is almost the same. So what we want to do from here is just modify all of the categories. And so this gives you the ability to really be in full control of your theme, customize it as you wish. So I'm going to go ahead and change the game title component to something interesting. I can change that color of the game title. And I want to change my background as well. So I'll go to my window colors under background, change that to something else. And now I can go ahead and still freely switch between all of my themes. And that custom theme is going to be saved. Now I don't actually want that theme here, or maybe I want to rename that theme, but I can go ahead and delete it if I don't need it. So I'll go ahead and delete. Whenever you delete a theme, it will thoroughly warn you just to make sure you know what you're doing. And I'm going to choose yes. That'll bring me to the next theme in my enumeration. Okay, next we want the ability to create our own theme categories. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're looking through each one of these subcategories that I have outlined here. Let's just say we're on fonts. So I have a game title, header 1, header 2, and body. But let's say that none of those subcategories are what you need. Let's say you actually need a NPC nameplate font type. Okay, but that's not here, which means we don't have the ability to customize something specific like that. So here's how we're going to do it. In the options column, we're going to choose custom. Now that's going to open up a window that's almost identical, except there's no subcategories on the right side because we haven't added any custom fields yet. Now I wanted to add a new font. So I'm going to choose fonts. I'm going to come down to this text field here, and I'm going to add my NPC nameplate font. All I have to do is type that in here. I'll click add. It's going to update some of the scripts on the back end, so you don't have to worry about programming anything in. And after that completes, we'll actually have that new subcategory right here. Now I can rename this, or I can delete this. But what I actually want to do is utilize this new subcategory. So I'm going to go down to my, my game title text, and I'm going to change that font to my new NPC nameplate font. And that font type will only update if I modify the custom subcategory from here. So that covers all of the major features of the editor tool. And if you get stuck, we have some help windows here that will take you through step by step, basically what I discussed in this video. So if you get hung up, you don't have to come back to this video. You may just want to check out the help windows so you can get a quick reminder of how things work.